Savannah, Georgia, often described as the most haunted city in America, is a place where history and the supernatural intertwine seamlessly. Founded in 1733, this charming southern city boasts cobblestone streets, grand antebellum mansions, and ancient cemeteries draped in Spanish moss. But beneath its picturesque exterior lies a darker, more eerie side that has captivated the imaginations of ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts for decades. Savannah's haunted history is steeped in tales of tragedy, mystery, and restless spirits. One of the most intriguing aspects of Savannah's haunted reputation is its combination of deep historical roots and natural elements, like the underground water that flows beneath the city. These elements create the perfect conditions for lingering spirits. The American Institute of Parapsychology receives more reports of paranormal activity from Savannah than almost any other city in the country. Visitors and residents alike have shared countless stories of ghostly encounters, from the eerie laughter of children in the Hamilton Turner Inn to the unsettling apparitions at the historic Bonaventure Cemetery. Savannah's haunted history is not just a collection of ghost stories. It is a testament to the city's complex and often tumultuous past. As you wander through Savannah, you can't help but feel the weight of history surrounding you. The city has witnessed numerous battles, devastating fires, and deadly epidemics, all of which have left their mark on the land and its inhabitants. The Siege of Savannah in 1779, for example, resulted in hundreds of deaths, and the spirits of fallen soldiers are said to still roam the city's historic squares and battlefields. Similarly, the yellow fever epidemic of 1820 claimed the lives of a tenth of Savannah's population, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow and lingering spirits. These tragic events have contributed to Savannah's reputation as a city where the past is never truly forgotten and where the line between the living and the dead is often blurred. In the next part, we will delve deeper into Savannah's reputation as a haunted city and explore the stories that have solidified its place as a hub of paranormal activity. From the infamous Mercer House to the haunted grounds of Fort Pulaski, Savannah's haunted history is filled with spine-chilling tales that continue to intrigue and terrify those who dare to explore its ghostly past. Savannah's reputation as a haunted city is not just based on folklore and urban legends. It is supported by countless eyewitness accounts and documented paranormal investigations. The city's storied past, marked by violent conflicts, deadly epidemics, and tragic accidents, has created an atmosphere ripe for ghostly activity. Visitors and locals alike report encounters with spirits in nearly every corner of the city, making Savannah a true mecca for those fascinated by the supernatural. One of the most famous haunted locations in Savannah is the Mercer House, which gained national attention through the book and movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. The house was once the home of Jim Williams, an antiques dealer with a keen interest in voodoo. Williams was acquitted of murder in 3 separate trials, but many believe the spirit of the man he allegedly killed still haunts the property. Guests have reported seeing shadowy figures and hearing strange noises, attributing these occurrences to the restless spirit of Danny Hansford, the man who met his untimely end in the house. Nearby, Bonaventure Cemetery adds to the city's ghostly allure. This cemetery, with its iconic moss-draped trees and famous bird girl statue, is said to be haunted by more than just its beautiful scenery. Visitors claim to hear laughter and disembodied voices among the graves, and some have even seen ghostly figures wandering the grounds. One of the most chilling tales involves a pack of ghost dogs that are said to roam the cemetery, adding an eerie layer to an already spooky sight. Fort Pulaski, a Civil War-era fort, has its own share of ghostly encounters. During the filming of the movie Glory, several crew members reported seeing apparitions of soldiers in period uniforms. The fort's dark history, marked by bloody battles and numerous deaths, provides a fitting backdrop for these spectral sightings. Similarly, the Pirate's House, a historic restaurant believed to have inspired parts of Treasure Island, is haunted by the spirits of sailors and pirates. Guests have reported seeing a gruff sailor, and even the infamous pirate Captain Flint wandering the premises. Savannah's haunted history extends beyond these well-known sites. The city is dotted with locations where the past refuses to stay buried, from the headless ghost of a Confederate soldier at Forsyth Park to the spectral figure of a woman in white seen on the balconies of the Kehoe House. Each story, backed by numerous first-hand accounts, contributes to the city's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. In the next part, we will explore specific haunted locations within Savannah, delving deeper into the stories and spirits that make them infamous. From historic inns to eerie cemeteries, Savannah's ghostly tales are as varied as they are chilling, offering a glimpse into the city's mysterious and haunted past. Savannah is a city where history and hauntings intertwine, creating a tapestry of eerie tales and ghostly encounters. Among the many haunted places, the Hamilton Turner Inn stands out. This grand mansion, featured in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, is known for its paranormal activities. Guests often hear the laughter of unseen children and the sound of billiard balls rolling on the upper floors. Some have even reported seeing a mysterious cigar-smoking man sitting on the roof, adding to the inn's haunted reputation. The Marshall House, another historic location, is one of the best-known haunted hotels in the United States. Built in 1851, the hotel served as a hospital for Union soldiers during the Civil War and for yellow fever epidemics in the 19th century. Guests have reported seeing ghostly figures in the hallways, hearing the laughter of children, and witnessing faucets turning on by themselves. The combination of the building's history and these eerie occurrences make it a hotspot for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. The 1790 Inn and Restaurant is yet another location with a rich history of hauntings. The ghost of Anna Powers, a young woman who tragically died after falling from the inn's roof, is said to haunt the upstairs guest rooms. Guests often report seeing Anna's ghostly figure and feeling an inexplicable presence in their rooms. The restaurant itself is not free from hauntings. A former slave cook and a young servant boy are said to make their presence known by banging on pots and appearing to diners. The Pirate's House, one of Savannah's oldest buildings, is infamous for its dark past and ghostly residents. Once a saloon and rest stop for seafarers, it is believed that many were shanghaied from its basement and forced to serve on ships. Today, visitors report seeing the ghost of a gruff sailor and the infamous pirate, Captain Flint. The chilling tales of these spirits, combined with the building's history, create an atmosphere ripe for paranormal activity. Savannah's cemeteries also contribute to its haunted reputation. Colonial Park Cemetery, established in 1750, is considered one of the most haunted places in the city. It is the final resting place of more than 10,000 people, many buried in mass graves. During the Civil War, Union soldiers occupied the cemetery, desecrating graves and causing unrest among the spirits. Visitors often experience cold spots, see glowing orbs, and feel an eerie presence while walking through the cemetery. The Sorrelweed House, with its tragic history of suicides and deaths, is another infamous haunted location. The spirits of Matilda Sorrel and a young slave named Molly are said to haunt the house. Visitors report seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an unsettling presence. The house's dark past and these ghostly encounters make it a must-visit for those interested in the paranormal. These locations, with their rich histories and numerous ghostly encounters, showcase why Savannah is considered one of the most haunted cities in America. Each site offers a glimpse into the city's eerie past and the restless spirits that still linger. Continuing the exploration of Savannah's haunted sites, the Bonaventure Cemetery stands out with its picturesque yet eerie atmosphere. Draped in Spanish moss, the cemetery is known for its ghostly apparitions and strange occurrences. Visitors often report hearing disembodied laughter and conversations, adding to the cemetery's haunting allure. The ghost dogs that roam its grounds are said to be the spirits of loyal pets, eternally guarding their owners' final resting places. Fort Pulaski, a Civil War fort near Savannah, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. During the filming of the movie Glory, crew members reported several ghost sightings, including spectral soldiers patrolling the fort's grounds. The fort's turbulent history and the many lives lost during the war contribute to the belief that it is one of Savannah's most haunted locations. The fort's eerie atmosphere, especially at night, often leaves visitors with a chilling sense of the past. The Kehoe House, now a beautiful bed and breakfast, is another location steeped in ghostly tales. Built in 1892, it was once home to the Kehoe family and their 10 children. Rumors suggest that 2 of the children died in the house, and their spirits are said to playfully interact with guests. Visitors have reported seeing ghost children, hearing footsteps, and experiencing cold spots. Before becoming a bed and breakfast, the house served as a funeral home, adding another layer to its haunted history. The Moon River Brewing Company is infamous for its ghostly encounters. This establishment, originally built as a hotel in 1821, has a long history of paranormal activity. The basement and upper floors are considered the most active spots, with the reports of bottles being thrown, patrons feeling cold drafts, and staff experiencing pranks from unseen entities. The ghost of a lady in white is often seen at the top of the restaurant's staircase, adding to the eerie experiences of those who visit. The Sorrelweed House continues to be a focal point for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. The tragic suicides of Matilda Sorrel and the young slave Molly have left an indelible mark on the house. Visitors often hear ghostly whispers, see shadowy figures, and feel an overwhelming sense of sorrow. The house's dark history and the spirits that linger within its walls make it one of Savannah's most haunted locations. Savannah's haunted reputation is further cemented by the numerous ghost tours that operate throughout the city. These tours take visitors to various haunted sites, sharing chilling stories of murder, tragedy, and restless spirits. The city's rich history, combined with its numerous ghostly encounters, makes it a prime destination for those seeking a glimpse into the paranormal. These additional haunted locations and their ghostly encounters further illustrate why Savannah is considered one of the most haunted cities in America. Each site has its own unique history and paranormal activity, offering visitors a deeper understanding of the city's eerie past and the spirits that still walk its streets. As the journey through Savannah's haunted history comes to a close, it becomes clear why this city holds a unique place in the realm of the paranormal. From the eerie whispers in Bonaventure Cemetery to the spectral soldiers of Fort Pulaski, Savannah's rich and tumultuous past is deeply intertwined with its ghostly present. The city's numerous haunted sites, each with its own tragic tales and restless spirits, paint a vivid picture of a place where history refuses to stay buried. Savannah's haunted reputation is not just a collection of ghost stories, but a testament to the many lives and events that have shaped its history. The lingering spirits of soldiers, victims of epidemics, and those who met untimely ends create a tapestry of supernatural occurrences that captivate and terrify those who visit. Whether it's the playful ghost children of the Kehoe House or the sorrowful specters of the Sorrelweed House, each encounter adds another layer to Savannah's mystique. The city's ghost tours, which guide visitors through these haunted locations, offer a unique glimpse into Savannah's darker side. These tours, steeped in history and lore, bring the past to life in a way that is both educational and spine-chilling. The stories told on these tours are more than just tales. They are the echoes of real events and real people whose spirits continue to roam the streets and buildings of Savannah. In conclusion, Savannah's title as one of America's most haunted cities is well earned. Its deep history, marked by war, disease, and tragedy, has created a fertile ground for paranormal activity. The city's ghostly inhabitants serve as a reminder of the past, offering a haunting yet fascinating insight into the lives and events that have left their mark on Savannah. For those brave enough to explore its haunted sites, Savannah promises an unforgettable experience, filled with mystery, history, and the unmistakable presence of the supernatural. Deep in the American South, where the air is thick with humidity and history, lies the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. This grand old mansion, with its majestic wraparound veranda, blue trim, and 20 rooms, stands on high ground like a fortress, overlooking the surrounding landscape. It might look like something out of a storybook, but the Myrtles Plantation has a history that is anything but charming. Built in 1796 by General David Bradford, the plantation has seen its share of dark and tragic events. Over the years, it has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. Visitors and ghost hunters alike are drawn to its eerie atmosphere, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. The plantation's haunted history is deeply connected to the lives of the people who lived and died there. Tales of murder, betrayal, and revenge are woven into the fabric of the house, creating a legacy of fear and ghostly encounters that persist to this day. The Myrtles Plantation is more than just an old house. It is a place where the past refuses to stay buried, and the spirits of those who suffered there still linger, unable to find peace. This is a place where the line between the living and the dead is blurred, where shadows seem to move on their own, and where the air is heavy with the presence of those who met untimely deaths. As you walk through its rooms and hallways, you can almost feel the weight of the history pressing down on you, as if the walls themselves are trying to tell you their stories. In the following parts, we will explore the haunted history of the Myrtles Plantation, uncovering the tragic events that took place here and the spirits that are said to haunt its grounds. From the mysterious death of Chloe, a house slave who sought revenge, to the tragic murder of William Winter on the front porch, the Myrtles Plantation is a place where the past refuses to be forgotten, and the spirits of the dead continue to make their presence known. The Myrtles Plantation has long been known as one of the most haunted places in America, and its reputation has only grown over the years. With its eerie atmosphere and tragic past, it's no wonder that stories of ghostly encounters have been passed down through generations. The plantation's dark history seems to be deeply embedded in its walls, with each tragic event adding to the layers of haunting that people experience today. The story of Chloe, the slave who was mutilated and later killed after poisoning the Woodruff family, is one of the most famous tales tied to the plantation. Her spirit is said to linger, unable to find peace after the horrors she endured and the tragic mistake that led to her death. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a ghostly figure wearing a green turban, believed to be Chloe, wandering the grounds. Some say they felt her presence, a cold, unsettling feeling that sends shivers down the spine. But Chloe is not the only spirit that is said to haunt the Myrtles. The plantation has been the site of many other deaths, each one adding to its haunted reputation. After Chloe's death, the plantation passed through the hands of several owners, some of whom met grim fates. One of the most well-known tragedies involved the Winters family, who moved into the plantation after it was sold to them. William Winter, who married one of the Sterling daughters, was a respected man in the community, but his life came to a violent end. On a cold January evening in 1871, Winter was shot on the front porch by an unknown assailant. Legend has it that after being shot, he staggered inside, trying to make his way up the stairs to reach his wife. He collapsed on the 17th step where he died. To this day, visitors claim to hear the sound of heavy footsteps on the staircase, always stopping on the 17th step, just as Winter did in his final moments. The Myrtles Plantation is also said to be haunted by the spirits of children. Some believe that the souls of the Woodruff children who were poisoned by Chloe remain trapped in the house. There are reports of children's laughter, small footsteps, and even the sight of ghostly figures of children playing in the hallways. One of the most chilling stories involves a mirror in the grand hallway where the images of Sarah Woodruff and her children are said to appear. Despite numerous attempts to replace or repair the mirror, handprints and strange marks always seem to reappear, as if the spirits refuse to be forgotten. These stories have made the Myrtles Plantation a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Over the years, many have come to experience the hauntings for themselves, and countless visitors have left with stories of unexplained events, strange noises, and ghostly apparitions. The plantation's dark history and reputation as a haunted location have made it a place where the line between the living and the dead seems to blur, leaving those who visit with a lingering sense of unease. The haunting experiences at the Myrtles Plantation are not confined to just the well-known tales of Chloe and William Winter. The entire property seems to be steeped in an eerie atmosphere that affects all who visit. Many guests have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they approach the plantation, as if the spirits residing there are watching their every move. The house itself exudes a certain heaviness, with cold spots and unexplained drafts that seem to follow visitors from room to room. One of the most active areas in the plantation is the old slave quarters. Though the original building no longer stands, the area where it once existed is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Some visitors claim to have heard the faint sound of chains rattling or soft whispers in the night, believed to be the voices of the enslaved people who once lived and worked on the plantation. Others have felt an invisible force brushing against them or tugging at their clothes, as if the spirits are trying to make their presence known. The plantation's Grand Hall is another place where the supernatural is often experienced. The infamous mirror, where the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children are said to appear, is a focal point for many ghostly encounters. Guests have reported seeing fleeting reflections of figures in old-fashioned clothing, only to turn around and find no one there. Even more unsettling are the handprints that seem to appear on the glass, no matter how often the mirror is cleaned or replaced. It's as if the spirits are leaving a permanent mark, a reminder of the tragic history that haunts the house. The upstairs bedrooms are no less eerie. Several guests have claimed to wake up in the middle of the night to see ghostly figures standing at the foot of their beds. These apparitions are often described as women in period clothing, their expressions forlorn as they stare silently at the living. The feeling of being watched is almost palpable, and many have left the plantation unable to shake the feeling that they were never truly alone during their stay. Outside the house, the grounds of the Myrtles Plantation are equally unsettling. The ancient oak trees, draped in Spanish moss, seem to whisper secrets of the past as the wind blows through their branches. Visitors have seen shadowy figures moving among the trees, and some have even reported hearing the faint sound of children's laughter coming from the gardens, though no children are present. The atmosphere is thick with the weight of history, and it's easy to imagine the spirits of those who once lived and died on the plantation still lingering among the trees and pathways. Perhaps the most disturbing experiences are those that occur at the spot where William Winter was shot. Many have reported hearing gunshots echoing through the night, followed by the sound of footsteps running up the staircase. The footsteps always stop on the 17th step, just as Winters did before he collapsed and died. Some say they have even seen a shadowy figure on the porch, a dark silhouette that disappears as quickly as it appears, leaving behind an overwhelming sense of sorrow and loss. The Myrtles Plantation is a place where the past seems to cling to the present, where the spirits of those who suffered and died cannot find peace. It's a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead are blurred, and where the echoes of history can still be heard in the creaking floors the rustling leaves, and the silent, watchful eyes of the spirits that call the plantation home. Beyond the well-documented encounters, there are countless stories from visitors and paranormal investigators who have experienced the unexplained at the Myrtles Plantation. These accounts add layers of mystery to a place already rich with ghostly tales. One particularly chilling phenomenon reported by visitors involves disembodied voices heard late at night. These voices, often muffled and indistinct, seem to carry on conversations that no living person can understand, as though echoes of the past are trapped in the walls of the house, endlessly replaying moments long forgotten. In the dining room, visitors have occasionally witnessed the apparition of a man dressed in military attire, seated at the head of the table. He is often described as having a stern expression, his gaze fixed on an unknown point, as if contemplating something from his past. This figure is believed by some to be that of General David Bradford, the original owner of the plantation, who seems unable to leave the place he built. The sight of this spectral figure, sitting silently in the dimly lit room, has left many guests feeling an overwhelming sense of unease. There are also reports of strange occurrences in the children's room. Visitors have described the unsettling experience of hearing soft crying or the sound of tiny footsteps, accompanied by the feeling of a cold, unseen presence brushing past them. Some have even claimed to see small handprints appearing on the walls and windows, as if the spirits of children are reaching out to make themselves known. These occurrences are particularly eerie because they are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, a telltale sign of a paranormal presence. Another unexplained phenomenon involves the grand staircase, a centerpiece of the Myrtles Plantation's interior. On more than one occasion, guests have reported feeling an unseen force pushing or pulling them as they ascend or descend the stairs. Some describe the sensation as a firm hand on their back, guiding them as they walk, while others have experienced a sudden, inexplicable dizziness that makes them feel as though the ground beneath them is shifting. These experiences are so common that some visitors refuse to use the staircase at all, opting instead to take a less direct route through the house. Outside the main house, the plantation grounds hold their own share of eerie stories. One particularly unsettling tale involves the old well located near the house. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of splashing water and faint cries coming from the well, even though it has been dry for many years. The area around the well is often described as feeling colder than the rest of the grounds, with some people reporting a sense of dread as they approach it, as if the spirits connected to the well are still trapped there, unable to move on. The Myrtles Plantation is also known for its unpredictable and sometimes violent physical manifestations. Furniture has been known to move on its own, doors slam shut without any apparent cause, and objects sometimes disappear only to reappear in strange places. These events often happen without warning, leaving those who witness them shaken and unable to explain what they have just seen. The unpredictability of these occurrences adds to the fear, as visitors never know when they might be confronted by the unknown. The plantation's reputation as a haunted location is further solidified by the numerous electronic voice phenomena, EVP recordings, captured by paranormal investigators. These recordings often reveal voices or sounds that were not heard during the time of recording, providing eerie evidence that something or someone still lingers within the walls of the Myrtles Plantation. The voices captured in these recordings range from whispers to full sentences, some sounding desperate or angry, others calm and conversational, but all contributing to the overwhelming sense that the plantation is far from empty. The Myrtles Plantation stands as a testament to the enduring mystery and intrigue that surrounds places with a dark history. Over the years, countless visitors, staff, and paranormal investigators have left the plantation with stories that defy logical explanation, adding to its reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the United States. the numerous ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena experienced within its walls suggest that the plantation is a place where the past continues to live on, refusing to be forgotten. What makes the Myrtles Plantation particularly fascinating is not just the sheer number of ghost stories associated with it, but the way these stories seem to intertwine with the very fabric of the building itself. Each creak of the floorboards, each flicker of the candlelight, and each sudden chill in the air serves as a reminder that this is a place where history is ever present, where the boundary between the living and the dead feels particularly thin. The plantation's haunting beauty and eerie atmosphere draw people in, tempting them to explore its secrets, even as they are warned of the spirits that still roam the grounds. For those who believe in the paranormal, the Myrtles Plantation is a place where the veil between the worlds is thin, allowing the spirits of the past to interact with the present. Even skeptics often leave the plantation with a sense of unease, their experiences challenging their preconceived notions of what is possible. Whether or not one believes in ghosts, there is no denying the powerful presence that seems to inhabit the plantation, presence that has left its mark on all who have passed through its doors. As you walk through the shadowy halls of the Myrtles Plantation, it is impossible not to feel the weight of its history pressing down on you. The spirits of the past seem to linger in every corner, their stories etched into the walls, the floors, and the very air you breathe. Each room tells a different tale, each ghostly encounter adding another layer to the plantation's dark and complex narrative. The Myrtles Plantation is not just a haunted house, it is a place where the past refuses to rest, where the echoes of history are all too real. In the end, the Myrtles Plantation is a place where the mysteries of the past and the fears of the present converge. It serves as a reminder that some stories are never truly over, that some spirits can never be fully laid to rest. Whether you visit as a curious tourist, a seasoned paranormal investigator, or simply someone seeking to understand the unknown, the Myrtles Plantation offers an experience that is both unsettling and unforgettable. It is a place where history and hauntings are inseparably intertwined, leaving an indelible impression on all who dare to explore its ghostly halls. Stull Cemetery, located in the small town of Stull, Kansas, is known as one of the most haunted cemeteries in America. This graveyard, along with its adjacent abandoned church, has gained a terrifying reputation over the years. The stories about Stull Cemetery go beyond typical ghost tales, reaching into the realm of the diabolical. Some legends claim it is one of the gateways to hell, and a place where the devil himself holds court. The history of Stull Cemetery and its haunting dates back over a century. The town of Stull, originally known as Deer Creek, was settled by German immigrants in the mid-1800s. The settlers built a church on a hill overlooking the cemetery, which became the focal point of many eerie legends. Over time, stories of witchcraft, ghost sightings, and supernatural occurrences began to surround the cemetery and its old church. One of the earliest documented tales came from a 1974 article in the University of Kansas student newspaper. This article described strange and diabolical happenings in the cemetery, including the claim that the devil appears there twice a year, on the spring equinox and on Halloween. The cemetery was said to be the site of numerous supernatural events, including ghostly apparitions, unexplained winds, and eerie sounds. The reputation of Stull Cemetery continued to grow, fueled by stories of devil worship, witchcraft, and mysterious occurrences. Despite the local residents' attempts to dismiss these tales as fabrications, the legends persisted. Over the years, the cemetery has attracted curious visitors, paranormal investigators, and thrill seekers, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. In this haunted history, the cemetery and its surroundings have become a symbol of fear and intrigue. The old, crumbling church, now a ruin, adds to the eerie atmosphere. Many believe that the stories of Stull Cemetery hold a grain of truth, rooted in some long-forgotten supernatural event that has since been embellished over time. As we delve deeper into the haunted history of Stull Cemetery, we will explore the legends, the ghosts, and the chilling encounters that have made this place one of the most infamous haunted locations in America. Stull Cemetery's eerie reputation dates back to the early 20th century. Locals began whispering about strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions seen among the tombstones. One of the earliest and most chilling stories involves the old church that once stood in the cemetery. Built in the 1860s, the church was a modest stone structure that served the small community for decades. However, as time went on, it fell into disrepair and eventually became abandoned. In the 1920s, rumors began to circulate about the church being a site of occult rituals. People claimed to have seen hooded figures gathering there at night, chanting incantations and performing dark ceremonies. The church, they said, was a gateway to the underworld, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was perilously thin. Some even believed that the devil himself appeared there twice a year, on Halloween and the spring equinox, to convene with his followers. These tales were fueled by unexplained events that seemed to plague the area. Witnesses reported seeing ghostly lights flickering in the church's windows long after it had been abandoned. The sound of disembodied voices and eerie laughter would echo through the night, sending chills down the spines of those brave enough to venture near. Livestock in nearby farms were found dead under mysterious circumstances, and residents spoke of an oppressive, malevolent presence that seemed to hover over the cemetery. The legend of Stull Cemetery took on a life of its own, growing more elaborate and terrifying with each retelling. One of the most persistent stories is that of a hidden staircase beneath the church. According to local lore, the staircase descends directly to the underworld. Those who dared to enter and find the staircase would never return, their souls forever trapped in the infernal depths. Despite numerous attempts to debunk these myths, the stories persisted. The church eventually collapsed, but its foundation remained, a grim reminder of the dark legends that surrounded it. To this day, many believe that the ruins are a focal point of paranormal activity, a place where the spirits of the damned wander freely. As the years passed, Stull Cemetery's reputation only grew. It became a magnet for thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and paranormal investigators. Each visit seemed to uncover new, unsettling phenomena, footsteps echoing in the silence, sudden drops in temperature, and shadowy figures darting between the tombstones. The cemetery's dark history and spine-chilling legends have made it one of the most infamous haunted locations in the United States. Those who have dared to explore its grounds often leave with more questions than answers, haunted by the feeling that they have glimpsed into a world beyond our own, where the dead do not rest easy. Stull Cemetery is known for its unsettling atmosphere and numerous ghostly encounters. Among the spirits that are said to haunt this eerie graveyard, there are a few that stand out, each with their own chilling story. One of the most infamous ghosts of Stull Cemetery is that of the old groundskeeper. It is said that the man who worked there many years ago mysteriously disappeared one night, never to be seen again. Visitors have reported seeing a shadowy figure resembling an old man with a lantern wandering among the tombstones. Some say they've heard the sounds of digging late at night, as if the ghostly groundskeeper is still tending to the graves. Another well-known spirit is that of a young woman who was tragically killed in a car accident near the cemetery. According to local legend, she was on her way to visit a loved one's grave when her car veered off the road. Her ghost is often seen near the entrance of the cemetery, appearing as a pale figure dressed in white. Many who have seen her claim she seems to be searching for something or someone, adding to the sorrowful aura of the place. The ghost of a small child is also said to haunt Stull Cemetery. This spirit is often seen near a particular tree within the graveyard, where the child was reportedly buried many years ago. People have heard the faint sound of a child's laughter or crying when they pass by this tree. Some have even reported seeing the ghostly figure of a little boy, seemingly lost and alone, adding a heartbreaking layer to the cemetery's ghostly lore. Perhaps the most terrifying of all is the ghost of a man who is believed to have been a victim of a violent crime in the area. his spirit is said to appear on certain nights, covered in blood and with a look of anguish on his face. Witnesses have described feeling an intense sense of dread and fear when encountering this apparition, as if the pain and horror of his final moments are still very much present. These ghostly figures are not the only paranormal activity reported at Stull Cemetery. Visitors often speak of sudden drops in temperature, unexplained noises, and the feeling of being watched. Some have captured strange mists or orbs in their photographs, while others have experienced their electronic devices malfunctioning inexplicably. The combination of these sightings and experiences has solidified Stull Cemetery's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. For those brave enough to venture there, the possibility of encountering one of these restless spirits adds to the allure and the terror of this legendary graveyard. Stull Cemetery's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America is bolstered by numerous reports of ghostly sightings and eerie occurrences. Among the many legends surrounding this eerie graveyard, a few stand out as particularly chilling and have been passed down through generations. One of the most infamous stories associated with Stull Cemetery is that of the burning tree. According to legend, a large tree once stood in the cemetery, and it was believed to be the site where witches were hanged in the past. One night, locals claim to have seen the tree spontaneously burst into flames, burning with an unearthly glow. Strangely, no charred remains or evidence of a fire were ever found. The tree eventually fell, but its legend lives on, with many visitors reporting an uneasy feeling when they approach its former location. Another tale tells of a hidden staircase that appears only on certain nights. This staircase, said to be located near a particular grave, is believed to be a portal to the underworld. Those who dare to descend the steps are said to vanish without a trace, their souls trapped forever in the dark depths below. While no physical evidence of the staircase exists, many claim to have heard whispers and seen shadows moving near the supposed site, lending credence to the chilling tale. Numerous sightings of a spectral figure known as the Lady in White have been reported over the years. This ghostly apparition is believed to be the spirit of a woman who died under tragic circumstances, possibly related to one of the many dark rituals said to have taken place in the cemetery. Witnesses describe her as a pale, ethereal figure, dressed in a flowing white gown, who glides silently among the tombstones. Some claim that making eye contact with her brings a feeling of overwhelming sadness and despair, as if experiencing the pain she endured in life. In addition to the stories of witches being hanged, there are also tales of a witch buried within the cemetery grounds. This grave is said to be marked by a distinctive headstone, which many believe is cursed. Those who dare to touch the headstone are rumored to suffer from bad luck, illness, or even death. While the exact location of the witch's grave is unknown, visitors often speak of feeling an intense, unexplainable fear when wandering through certain areas of the cemetery, as if they're being watched by unseen eyes. Visitors to Stull Cemetery frequently report hearing strange noises and disembodied voices. Some hear whispers and cries that seem to come from nowhere, while others describe hearing faint, mournful singing echoing through the night. These auditory experiences are often accompanied by sightings of ghostly apparitions, flickering lights, and shadowy figures that dart among the tombstones. Paranormal investigators who have explored the cemetery often record unexplained electromagnetic activity and temperature fluctuations, further fueling the belief that Stull Cemetery is a hotspot for supernatural phenomena. These haunting stories contribute to Stull Cemetery's fearsome reputation, making it a magnet for thrill seekers, paranormal enthusiasts, and those simply looking to experience a brush with the unknown. Despite the eerie tales, the cemetery remains a place of mystery and intrigue, where the line between the living and the dead seems to blur. Stull Cemetery, with its rich tapestry of eerie legends and ghostly encounters, stands as a testament to the enduring power of folklore and human imagination. The tales of witches, hidden staircases, spectral figures, and unexplained phenomena have turned this small Kansas cemetery into a symbol of the supernatural. While many of the stories surrounding the Stull Cemetery may be steeped in myth, they highlight a deeper fascination with the unknown and the desire to connect with something beyond the ordinary. Whether it's the ghost of the old groundskeeper, the lady in white, or the mysterious staircase to the underworld, each legend adds to the cemetery's mystique and draws people from far and wide. Despite the fear and intrigue that these stories evoke, it's important to approach them with a sense of curiosity and respect. The legends of Stull Cemetery serve as a reminder of the power of storytelling and the ways in which history, culture, and imagination intertwine to create places of mystery and wonder. In the end, Stull Cemetery remains a place where the past and the present meet, where the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural blur. It is a place that invites us to ponder the mysteries of life and death, and to explore the stories that have shaped our understanding of the world. As we leave Stull Cemetery behind, the legends and ghosts will continue to linger in our minds, a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown. In the small town of Abbeville, Alabama, a chilling legend has been passed down for generations. This town, with its charming colonial houses and friendly people, seems like any other quiet southern town. But as the sun sets, a mysterious figure, known as Huggin Molly, is said to roam the streets, striking fear into the hearts of children who dare to stay out after dark. Abbeville, with its population of around 2,000, is a place where everyone knows each other. The locals spend their days shopping in small boutiques and dining at family-owned restaurants. It's a town with a rich history, having endured hardships from European settlers, conflicts with the Creek Nation, and the struggles of segregation. Despite these trials, the people of Abbeville have created a close-knit community. But amid this backdrop of southern charm and hospitality, the legend of Huggin Molly casts a long shadow. Described as a woman standing 7 feet tall, dressed in dark clothing with a wide-brimmed hat, Huggin Molly is no ordinary ghost. She is said to appear to children who aren't home by dark, hugging them tightly and screaming in their ears. While her embrace is terrifying, she never physically harms the children. The worst they suffer is the ringing in their ears from her piercing scream. The origins of Huggin Molly are shrouded in mystery, with multiple stories explaining her presence. Some say she is the ghost of a woman who lost her infant, and now seeks to comfort other children. Others believe she was a professor trying to keep students safe by scaring them off the streets at night. Regardless of her origins, Huggin Molly has become a permanent fixture in Abbeville's folklore, a ghostly guardian who roams the streets after dark. As we delve deeper into this eerie tale, we'll explore more about Huggin Molly's history, the stories of her sightings, and the impact she has had on the community of Abbeville. The story of Huggin Molly is deeply woven into the fabric of Abbeville's history. The legend has been told and retold, each version adding new layers to the mystery of this spectral figure. The exact origins of Huggin Molly are unclear, but the tale has been a part of the town's lore for as long as anyone can remember. One popular version of the story suggests that Huggin Molly was once a grieving mother who lost her infant child. Overwhelmed by her sorrow, she began to roam the streets at night, seeking to replace the child she lost by hugging other children. This version paints Molly as a tragic figure, her ghostly actions a manifestation of her unending grief. Another account claims that Huggin Molly was a professor at the Southwest Alabama Agriculture School. Concerned for the safety of her students, she would patrol the streets at night, ensuring that no one was out after dark. Her ghostly form, it is said, continues this vigil even after death. Her screams, a warning to any child still outside after sunset. Abbeville itself has a history marked by tragedy and resilience, The town was nearly destroyed by an arsonist at the start of the 1900s, and later suffered from a devastating F2 tornado. These events left a deep scar on the community, and it is believed that the legend of Huggin Molly emerged from these difficult times, a way for the townspeople to make sense of their suffering and to protect their children. Despite these different origin stories, the essence of the legend remains the same. Huggin Molly is a protective, yet terrifying presence, a ghostly figure who ensures the children stay safe by scaring them home before dark. Her tall, shadowy figure and her loud, piercing screams are said to be unforgettable to those who have encountered her. As the legend continued to grow, it became a part of Abbeville's identity. The story of Huggin Molly is told to every new generation, a blend of cautionary tale and ghost story. Whether she is a grieving mother, a protective professor, or something else entirely, Huggin Molly remains a haunting figure in the collective memory of Abbeville. Over the years, many residents of Abbeville have claimed to encounter the ghost of Huggin Molly. These sightings have only added to the eerie legend, giving it a tangible sense of reality. One of the earliest recorded encounters happened in the 1940s, when a local teenager, Jimmy, swore he saw a tall, shadowy figure following him home one night. He remembered the figure's long, dark dress and wide-brimmed hat, exactly as the legend described. He ran home as fast as he could, his heart pounding, the chilling screams echoing in his ears. In another instance, a group of children playing outside at dusk reported seeing a woman in black standing at the edge of the playground. She was unnaturally tall and seemed to be watching them intently. As they stared, she began to move towards them, her arms outstretched as if to hug them. Terrified, the children fled, and when they looked back, the figure had vanished into the shadows. One particularly unsettling encounter involved a local woman named Sarah, who was walking home late one evening. She had just finished her shift at the local diner and was taking a shortcut through a quiet street. Suddenly, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread and looked up to see a towering figure in black looming in front of her. Before she could react, the figure enveloped her in a cold, bone-crushing hug and screamed directly into her ear. Sarah was paralyzed with fear, and when the figure finally released her, she ran home without looking back. The next morning, she still felt the ringing in her ears from the ghostly scream. More recent encounters have been recorded as well. In the early 2000s, a couple driving through Abbeville late at night reported seeing a figure dressed in black standing in the middle of the road. They slowed down, thinking it might be someone in need of help, but as they approached, the figure disappeared. They described feeling an intense cold as they drove through the spot where the figure had been standing. These encounters, while varied, all share common elements: the tall, shadowy figure dressed in black, the chilling screams, and the eerie sensation of being watched. For the people of Abbeville, these stories are more than just local legend. They are a reminder that Huggin Molly is very much a part of their town's haunted history. The stories of Huggin Molly's appearances continue to send shivers down the spines of Abbeville's residents. As more people share their experiences, the legend only grows stronger. One such encounter happened to a group of teenagers who decided to test their courage by walking through the town after dark. They had heard the tales, but were skeptical of the old legend. As they walked down a dimly lit street, they joked and laughed, trying to mask their unease. Suddenly, the laughter stopped when they noticed a figure standing at the end of the street. It was a tall woman, dressed in black with a wide-brimmed hat, just as the stories described. The teenagers froze, unable to move, as the figure started gliding towards them. One of the boys, trying to prove his bravery, shouted at the figure, but it did not deter her. She came closer and closer until she was within arm's reach. Then, without warning, she grabbed the boy in a tight embrace and let out a blood-curdling scream. The other teens fled in terror, and when they looked back, the figure and their friend were gone. They found him minutes later, shaken but unharmed, with a ringing in his ears that lasted for hours. Another spine-chilling tale comes from an elderly resident named Mr. Thompson, who had lived in Abbeville all his life. He recalled a night in his youth when he was walking home from a late-night gathering. The streets were empty, and the town was eerily silent. As he approached his house, he felt a sudden chill and turned to see a dark figure standing under a street lamp. The figure started moving towards him, and Mr. Thompson's instincts kicked in. He ran as fast as he could, but no matter how fast he went, the figure seemed to glide effortlessly behind him. Just as he reached his front door, he felt a cold, bony hand on his shoulder and heard a piercing scream that echoed through the night. He stumbled inside and slammed the door, too afraid to look out the window. In more recent years, technology has captured evidence of Huggin Molly's eerie presence. A young man named Kevin, who was fascinated by the paranormal, set up a camera outside his house, hoping to catch a glimpse of the infamous ghost. One night, the motion sensor triggered the camera, and it captured a chilling scene. A tall, shadowy figure could be seen moving across the yard, pausing briefly to look directly at the camera before disappearing into the darkness. When Kevin reviewed the footage, he felt a cold dread wash over him, knowing that he had just recorded proof of Huggin Molly. These encounters, each more terrifying than the last, paint a vivid picture of Huggin Molly's haunting presence in Abbeville. Whether she's a ghost seeking to protect or a tormented soul longing for lost loved ones, her appearances leave an indelible mark on those who experience them. The legend of Huggin Molly is alive and well, with each new sighting adding another layer to the chilling tale. The legend of Huggin Molly has woven itself into the very fabric of Abbeville. Despite the fear and unease she brings, she is also a part of the town's identity. Each generation passes down the stories, warning children to be home before dark to avoid her ghostly embrace. The tales serve as a reminder of the town's rich history and the mysteries that still linger in the shadows. In an effort to embrace their unique heritage, the townspeople of Abbeville have found ways to honor Huggin Molly. A local restaurant named Huggin Molly's has become a popular spot, drawing visitors curious about the legend. The establishment, styled like a 1950s diner, offers a glimpse into the past while celebrating the town's most famous ghost. Patrons can enjoy a meal while hearing stories of Molly's sightings and the history of Abbeville, making it a must-visit for anyone interested in the paranormal. Festivals and events also highlight the legend, with ghost tours and storytelling sessions bringing the eerie tale to life. Local historians and residents alike share their knowledge and personal encounters, keeping the spirit of Huggin Molly alive. These events not only entertain, but also educate, ensuring that the legend continues to be a significant part of Abbeville's culture. Huggin Molly's story is a testament to the power of folklore and the enduring nature of ghost stories. She has become a guardian of sorts, her spectral presence a constant reminder to stay safe and be wary of the unknown. For the people of Abbeville, she is both a source of fear and a beloved figure, representing the town's resilience and its rich tapestry of tales. In the quiet moments when the sun sets and the streets grow dark, the legend of Huggin Molly comes to life. Children hurry home, and adults share knowing glances, their minds drifting to the ghostly figure that has roamed their town for over a century. The stories of Huggin Molly will continue to be told, her haunting presence forever etched into the heart of Abbeville. As the years go by, new encounters and experiences will add to the legend, ensuring that Huggin Molly remains a vivid part of Abbeville's history. Whether seen as a protector or a spectral reminder of the past, she will always be a part of the town's soul. And on those cold, dark nights, when the wind whispers through the streets, the people of Abbeville will know that Huggin Molly is watching, waiting, and perhaps just looking for someone to hug. Orleans, Louisiana, is a city with a rich and haunting past. Known for its vibrant culture, lively music, and delicious cuisine, New Orleans is also famous for its ghostly legends and supernatural encounters. The city's history is deeply intertwined with tales of voodoo, spirits, and hauntings. From its early days, New Orleans has been a melting pot of cultures and traditions, creating a unique blend that has left an indelible mark on its character. Limestone in the city's geography, combined with the presence of voodoo and numerous ghost stories, has created a perfect environment for the spirit world to thrive. Over the centuries, wars, torture, and murders have taken place here, giving rise to countless ghostly legends. The French Quarter, with its narrow streets and historic buildings, is often at the center of these tales. As we explore the haunted history of New Orleans, we'll uncover stories of restless spirits, mysterious apparitions, and eerie encounters that continue to captivate and terrify locals and visitors alike. New Orleans' reputation as one of the most haunted cities in America is well-deserved. The city's dark past is filled with stories of voodoo rituals, ghostly apparitions, and untimely deaths that have left lingering spirits wandering its streets. Visitors and locals alike speak in hushed tones about the eerie encounters and supernatural experiences that seem almost commonplace in this city of shadows. One of the most infamous figures in New Orleans' haunted history is Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans. Marie was a powerful and influential figure in the 19th century, known for her magical abilities and spiritual guidance. Even in death, her presence is strongly felt. Marie Laveau's tomb in the St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is a site of pilgrimage for those seeking her favor or protection. Legend has it that if you knock 3 times on her crypt and leave an offering, her spirit might grant your wish. The cemetery itself is a maze of crumbling mausoleums and narrow pathways, where visitors often report feeling a sudden chill or seeing fleeting shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another chilling tale is that of the LaLaurie Mansion, once home to Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a socialite with a dark secret. In the early 1800s, Madame LaLaurie was known for her grand parties and luxurious lifestyle. However, a fire in her mansion revealed a horrifying secret. She had been torturing and murdering her slaves. The attic, where many of these atrocities took place, is said to be the most haunted part of the house. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported hearing screams, seeing ghostly apparitions, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. The legend of the Sultan's Palace adds another layer to the haunted history of New Orleans. The mansion at 716 Dauphine Street, also known as the Gardet-Laprate House, was the site of a gruesome massacre. According to legend, a wealthy sultan and his harem were brutally murdered in the house, their bodies left to rot. Blood was said to seep from the doorways and down the steps, staining the very soul of the building. Today, residents and visitors report ghostly apparitions, eerie sounds, and a pervasive sense of unease. Jackson Square, a historic park in the heart of the French Quarter, is another hotspot for ghostly activity. During the day, it is a bustling area filled with artists, musicians, and tourists. But at night, the atmosphere changes. The gates close, trapping any spirits inside. Those who lean against the iron fences have reported feeling a tug on their clothes or seeing ghostly hands reaching out. The square's dark past, including public executions and duels, has left a mark on the area, making it a hub for paranormal activity. The dark and winding alleyways of the French Quarter are home to many other ghost stories. Père Antoine's Alley, named after a beloved priest who worked tirelessly for the poor, is said to be haunted by his spirit. Clad in his capuchin robes, Père Antoine has been seen walking the alley in the early morning hours. His ghostly figure is often accompanied by a sense of calm, a stark contrast to the eerie encounters reported elsewhere in the city. New Orleans is a city where the past is never truly buried. The stories of haunted places and restless spirits are woven into the fabric of its history, creating a tapestry of terror that continues to captivate and frighten. As we delve deeper into the haunted locations within the city, the tales only grow darker and more disturbing, painting a picture of a place where the line between the living and the dead is blurred, and the echoes of the past are never far away. New Orleans' haunted reputation is built upon the many specific locations within the city that are believed to be haunted. These places, steeped in history and tragedy, draw countless visitors eager to experience the supernatural for themselves. One such place is the infamous LaLaurie Mansion, located at 1140 Royal Street. The mansion's dark history began with Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a wealthy socialite known for her cruelty. After the 1834 fire exposed her horrific treatment of enslaved people, the mansion became a focal point for ghostly activity. Visitors and paranormal investigators often report hearing screams and moans coming from the empty attic. Some claim to have seen the apparitions of Madame LaLaurie herself, as well as the tortured spirits of her victims. The atmosphere inside the mansion is said to be oppressively heavy, filled with the lingering sorrow and pain of those who suffered there. Another chilling location is the Sultan's Palace at 716 Dauphine Street. The legend tells of a wealthy sultan who rented the mansion with his entourage, only for them all to be brutally massacred one stormy night. Blood was found flowing down the steps the next morning, leading to the discovery of the gruesome scene inside. Today, the house is said to be haunted by the restless spirits of those who died there. Residents and visitors have reported hearing strange noises, such as the faint sound of music, laughter, and screams, as well as seeing shadowy figures moving through the rooms. Some even claim to have seen the ghostly figure of the Sultan himself, wandering the halls in his ornate robes. Le Petit Théâtre du Vieux Carré, located in the French Quarter, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. The theater, which opened in 1916, is home to several ghostly residents. One of the most famous is the spirit of Caroline, an actress from the 1930s who died tragically when she fell from a balcony during a performance. Dressed in a white wedding gown, Caroline is often seen wandering the theater, her spectral form a tragic reminder of her untimely death. Another ghostly presence is that of a sea captain who is said to watch the performances from his balcony seat, hoping to catch a glimpse of an actress he once loved. The St. Louis Cathedral, one of the oldest cathedrals in the United States, also has its share of ghostly legends. Père Antoine, a beloved priest who dedicated his life to helping the poor, is said to haunt the cathedral and the alley that bears his name. Clad in his capuchin robes, Père Antoine has been seen walking the alley in the early morning hours. Visitors to the cathedral have reported feeling a sense of calm and peace when they see his ghostly figure, a stark contrast to the eerie encounters elsewhere in the city. The Beauregard Keys house, located at 1113 Chartres Street, is another haunted landmark in New Orleans. The house, which dates back to the early 19th century, has been home to many notable figures, including Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard. It is said that the ghosts of Civil War soldiers haunt the property, often appearing in their gray uniforms and staring off into the distance with vacant expressions. Visitors have reported hearing the sounds of gunfire and cannon blasts, as well as the pungent smell of musket fire. Some have even seen the apparitions of soldiers with mangled limbs and blown-away faces, a haunting reminder of the horrors of war. The old Absinthe House, located on Bourbon Street, is another site with a rich history of hauntings. Built in 1806, the bar was a favorite haunt of pirate Jean Lafitte, who is said to have conducted business there. Today, patrons of the bar have reported seeing the ghostly figure of Lafitte himself, often lurking in the dark corners and watching the activity with a keen eye. The bar's atmosphere is said to be charged with a sense of mystery and intrigue, as if the spirits of the past are still very much present. Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop Another establishment linked to the infamous pirate is also believed to be haunted. Built in the 1770s, the building is one of the oldest in New Orleans and has a storied past. Visitors have reported seeing the ghostly figure of Jean Lafitte, as well as other spectral apparitions, including that of a woman in old-fashioned clothing. The bar is lit only by candles, adding to the eerie ambiance, and many patrons have claimed to feel an unseen presence watching them as they sip their drinks. The Myrtles Plantation, located just outside of New Orleans in St. Francisville, is another location with a reputation for being haunted. The plantation, which dates back to the late 18th century, is said to be home to at least 12 ghosts. One of the most famous is that of Chloe, a former slave who was reportedly hanged for poisoning the plantation owner's family. Chloe is often seen wearing a green turban and has been known to appear in photographs taken by visitors. The spirits of the children she supposedly poisoned are also said to haunt the plantation, often heard playing and laughing in the halls. These haunted locations, with their tragic histories and ghostly residents, are a testament to the dark and mysterious past of New Orleans. The city's rich tapestry of supernatural tales continues to captivate and terrify, drawing in those who seek to experience the otherworldly for themselves. As we delve deeper into the haunted places within the city, we uncover more stories of restless spirits and eerie encounters, painting a vivid picture of a city where the past is never truly forgotten, and the line between the living and the dead is always blurred. New Orleans' connection to the supernatural is not limited to haunted houses and ghostly apparitions. The city is also deeply entwined with the mystical practices of voodoo, a religion brought to Louisiana by enslaved Africans in the 18th century. Voodoo in New Orleans is a unique blend of West African religious traditions, Catholicism, and French spiritualism, creating a rich tapestry of beliefs and rituals that continue to influence the city's culture and paranormal activity. At the heart of New Orleans, voodoo is Marie Laveau, the most famous voodoo priestess in the city's history. Born in 1801, Marie Laveau became a powerful figure in the local community, known for her healing abilities, spiritual guidance, and magical prowess. Her influence extended beyond the voodoo community, earning her the respect of people from all walks of life. Even after her death in 1881, Marie Laveau's legacy endures, with many believing that her spirit still watches over New Orleans. Visitors to New Orleans can explore the mysteries of voodoo at places like the New Orleans Historic Voodoo Museum, located in the French Quarter. The museum offers a glimpse into the world of voodoo, showcasing artifacts, altars, and information about the religion's history and practices. Many who visit the museum report feeling a strong spiritual presence, as if the spirits themselves are guiding them through the exhibits. One of the most iconic voodoo landmarks in New Orleans is the tomb of Marie Laveau, located in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. The cemetery itself is a place of eerie beauty, with its crumbling above-ground tombs and winding pathways. Marie Laveau's tomb is a pilgrimage site for those seeking her blessing or wishing to leave offerings. The tomb is often marked with X's, left by visitors as a sign of respect and a request for help. Many believe that Marie Laveau's spirit still lingers at her tomb, and some have reported seeing her ghostly figure walking among the graves, dressed in her signature turban and white dress. Another important aspect of New Orleans voodoo is the use of gris-gris, small bags filled with herbs, stones, bones, and other items believed to hold magical properties. These bags are used for various purposes such as protection, love, and luck. Practitioners create personalized gris-gris for their clients, imbuing them with specific intentions and prayers. Some visitors to New Orleans seek out voodoo practitioners to obtain a gris-gris, hoping to harness its power for their own needs. The influence of voodoo can also be felt in the city's many voodoo shops and botanicas, where visitors can purchase candles, oils, and other items used in rituals and spells. These shops often have a mystical atmosphere, with shelves lined with colorful bottles and shelves filled with curiosities. Many of the shop owners are knowledgeable about voodoo and are happy to share their insights and guidance with those who seek it. One of the most intriguing voodoo rituals practiced in New Orleans is the Voodoo Queen's Blessing, held annually on June 23rd at Bayou St. John. This ritual, which dates back to the 19th century, is a celebration of St. John the Baptist's feast day and involves drumming, dancing, and offerings to the spirits. Participants wear white clothing and adorn themselves with beads and other decorations as they gather by the bayou to honor the spirits and seek their blessings. The ritual is a powerful testament to the enduring presence of voodoo in New Orleans and its ability to bring people together in a shared spiritual experience. New Orleans is also home to many spiritualists and psychics who offer their services to those seeking insight into their lives and futures. Tarot card readings, palmistry, and seances are popular activities for visitors and locals alike, adding to the city's mystical allure. Jackson Square, in particular, is a hotspot for fortune tellers and psychics who set up their tables and offer readings to passers-by. The square's vibrant atmosphere, with its street performers and artists, provides a perfect backdrop for these mystical encounters. The city's connection to the supernatural is further exemplified by the numerous ghost tours and voodoo tours available to visitors. These tours offer a fascinating look into to the haunted history and mystical practices of New Orleans, with knowledgeable guides sharing stories of ghosts, voodoo queens, and otherworldly phenomena. Whether it's a nighttime ghost tour through the darkened streets of the French Quarter or a daytime exploration of voodoo landmarks, these tours provide a unique and immersive experience for those looking to delve deeper into the city's supernatural side. The influence of voodoo and mystical practices on New Orleans is undeniable, shaping the city's identity and contributing to its reputation as one of the most haunted and spiritually charged places in the world. The blend of voodoo, folklore, and paranormal activity creates a rich and complex tapestry of beliefs and experiences, drawing in those who are curious about the unknown and eager to connect with the supernatural. As we continue our exploration of New Orleans' haunted history, we uncover more layers of mystery and magic, revealing a city where the veil between the living and the dead is always thin and the spirit world is ever present. As we conclude our journey through the haunted history of New Orleans, it becomes clear that this city's unique blend of cultures, traditions, and supernatural beliefs has created an environment where the past and present coexist in a delicate dance. New Orleans' rich tapestry of stories, from its haunted houses and ghostly apparitions to its voodoo queens and spiritual rituals, continues to captivate and intrigue both locals and visitors alike. One of the most enduring aspects of New Orleans' supernatural reputation is its cemeteries. These cities of the dead are not only resting places for the departed, but also serve as a testament to the city's history and cultural heritage. The above-ground tombs, necessitated by the city's low-lying geography, create an eerie and otherworldly landscape that has become synonymous with New Orleans. As you walk through these cemeteries, such as St. Louis Cemetery and Lafayette Cemetery, you can feel the weight of history and the lingering presence of those who have gone before. The allure of New Orleans' haunted places and mystical practices has also made it a popular setting for literature, film, and television. The city's atmospheric streets and enigmatic past provide the perfect backdrop for tales of horror, mystery, and the supernatural. From Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles, which brought to life the vampires of the Garden District, to the eerie adventures of American Horror Story, Coven, New Orleans' ghostly charm continues to inspire and enthrall creators and audiences around the world. The haunted legacy of New Orleans is not just confined to its famous landmarks and historical figures. Many locals and visitors have their own personal stories of encounters with the supernatural. These tales of unexplained phenomena and ghostly encounters add to the city's mystique, as each new story becomes a part of the larger narrative of New Orleans' haunted history. Whether it's a chilling experience in a haunted hotel, a mysterious sighting in the French Quarter, or an inexplicable feeling of being watched in one of the city's many historic homes, these personal accounts keep the spirit of New Orleans' supernatural alive. Despite the passage of time, the spirits of New Orleans show no signs of fading away. The city's dedication to preserving its haunted heritage through the ghost tours, voodoo rituals, and historical sites ensures that the stories of the past continue to be told and retold. These efforts not only honor the memories of those who have come before, but also keep the city's supernatural legacy alive for future generations. The residents of New Orleans embrace their city's haunted reputations with a sense of pride and reverence. For many, the supernatural is not something to be feared, but rather a vital part of their cultural identity. The spirits of New Orleans are seen as guardians of the city's history and keepers of its secrets, watching over the living and reminding them of the enduring connection between the past and the present. In the end, New Orleans remains a city where the veil between the living and the dead is thin, and the presence of the supernatural is felt in every corner. Its haunted legacy is woven into the very fabric of the city, creating an atmosphere of mystery and intrigue that draws people from all over the world. As the sun sets and the shadows lengthen, the spirits of New Orleans come alive, whispering their stories to those who are willing to listen. For those who seek to experience the supernatural, New Orleans offers an invitation to explore its haunted streets, delve into its mystical practices, and connect with the spirits that call this city home. Whether you believe in ghosts or are simply curious about the unknown, the haunted history of New Orleans promises an unforgettable journey into the heart of one of the most enigmatic and fascinating cities in the world. As our exploration comes to an end, we leave with a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped New Orleans and the spirits that continue to watch over it. The city's haunted legacy is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, the resilience of its people, and the timeless allure of the unknown. New Orleans remains a place where history and mystery intertwine, and where the spirit world is never far from reach.